No, it's all good.
No, I don't mind having a bit backseat head in it because then it actually means someone's listening to me. And I'm
That's all I know.
so feel free to wave and shout and interact. Good morning, everybody. Fantastic to be here at Foreign Parramatta. So I'm off to the Easter show after this, so I'm just going to be ignoring work. So I thought, right, let's see if I can combine both things. And the beauty of Four Networking meaning that you can head off and go and visit. So we would love to see any of you down in Wollongong who would like to come and present to us down there, to come and do the foresight or just come and meet us. You do need your 4M passport, but you don't need your normal passport to go to Wollongong. Just let you know. Where is it? No, I have no idea. My directions. Apparently it's a male-female thing, scientifically, as to whether you can point for north or not. So we won't
You don't have
anyway.
anymore either, do you?
Anyway, let's get started. So, how many of you have ever felt less than 100% confident talking in front of a bunch of people?
All the time.
Anyone? Anyone ever just felt that they've just mucked it up and they've lost people in their audience?
Time?
Does anybody think that it would be nice to have a way to not rely on stacks of notes when doing a presentation? Yeah, great. So would it be useful for you if I were to share a process with you that's really simple, it's 4 steps, so it means that you don't need stacks of notes, but it will engage your entire audience in the way that they want to be engaged. Would that be useful to anybody?
Yes.
Good. I'm in the right place then, aren't I?
You are.
So, giving you a little handout for you to take some notes should you so choose, and it's a little bit of a fill in the blanks. So what we are talking about today is actually called the format system. So it's quite nice. It's a 4N foresight on format. So try saying that one quickly 3 times. So what we're talking about today is a system that has been researched that there are 4 different types of learners or listeners. And in this particular context, when I talk about either learner or listener, the 2 are interchangeable. So when we're talking about presentation, it's the listening style. You can also use this for seminars, for training, for sales, anything like that. And it may be a learning process that you're going through. So please don't blame me if you can use this anywhere in your business. So the first thing that you need to do to engage your audience is you need to give a strong why. So the first gap is a why. There are people that we call why learners, and they make up about 30% of the population. So a third of your room needs you to tell them straight away up front why it is a good idea to be listening to you. Because otherwise you will lose them. I'm a why learner, and I've just found that I just drift off sometimes, and I actually really quite like the content, but they've not really related it to me, they've not told me why I should be listening for the next however long, and I just drift off. So if you don't want to lose 30% of your audience, you might want to give a strong why. And the way that you might do that may be through questions. And the questions are great because they get people involved in what their own why is. They get involved in their own reasons for listening. So you can share, you can say this is what I'm going to be talking about and this is why it's important, or you can ask questions. So you might want to tell a little story. But something that relates straight away as to, I'm going to tell you something that is going to be of benefit to you. Okay? So that's the first one. The second one is your what. I know it really is what. So what is the details? What are you actually talking about? So this is the bit that we're in at the moment, is the what, where I explain what format is. And again, this is roughly 30% of your audience will be what listeners or what learners. They're the people that need to know the stats. They need to know where this is coming from. Now, if you're somebody that likes those details, your temptation will be to jump straight in to the facts, the figures, the stats straight away. And you need to just pull back a little bit and give that strong, compelling why, and then move into the details. If, however, you are a why person like me, the temptation can be to skim over the details and assume that if somebody knows why it's important and how they do it, that they're probably okay. And that's also a bit of a mistake, as I found out. So we've got the why and the what. You then move into the how. So quick quick show of hands. Those of you who go to seminars or workshops and you love the breakouts, you love the bits of getting stuck into the exercising, getting your hands dirty, seeing how it all works. That's actually quite a big percentage. Generally about 20% of the room, that would be. About 20% of people really just want to, they actually don't care about the details, they actually don't care about the stats, as long as they can figure it out for themselves. So you need to give people an opportunity to work out in their own mind how what you're saying relates to them. And we can do that still in our 40 seconds. Instead of giving people the opportunity, because you're not going to say, go off and try this for yourself, but if you share a story, a small testimonial, a small case study, that helps people to relate the concept of what you're talking about to them. And so depending on the amount of time that you've got, you will be able to develop that how portion of your talk. And then the last bit is what if. What if? So this is the bit that, what if I don't quite understand this? What about this situation? Will it work here? What about if this happens? Will it still work? So how many of you can relate to, you go to a presentation and you go to a talk, and there are a few people who just have to ask lots and lots and lots of questions. Yeah? You may be one of those people, and there is nothing wrong with it. It's not my preferred style of listening or learning, so I kind of get a little bit annoyed. I kind of get a little bit, just stop asking the questions already, let's just go and do it, or, you know, and that can happen, because we are all different, and that's fine.
Just kick them out.
They're
They're not going to anyway.
But they might. It's just the way that they need to absorb the information. Some people really need to just, they've got their internal checklist and they just need to tick all the boxes. Is it going to work in this situation? Is it going to work here? So you need to give people the option as to how they can find out more information. So it could be a question session, and Carol, I actually forgot to mention this to you. My little bugbear with the 4N agenda is that after the 4 slides finish, there's an opportunity for questions. Please don't ask questions at that point. I will give people the opportunity. But what can happen with a presentation, if you leave questions right until the end, is that the people that have got it, that have understood it, you can actually completely lose them by answering very specific questions. And you want to stay in control when you're presenting, whether it's a sales conference, whether it's a 40 seconds or a 10-minute